Hiya, if you're new, my name's Chanel. I've been working in cybersecurity for almost 2 years, and I wanted to make content ages ago, but I just felt like, do you know what? I want to give myself some time in the industry, gain a bit of knowledge before I start making content. I'm not one of those people that jump into things and move like I'm the master of everything. That's not me. I'm always a student. So yeah, I've been in cybersecurity for almost 2 years. However, tech as a whole, my journey in tech started in 2017. My friend Micah came over to my house and he was studying computer science at the time. And I was like, what's that? I was studying aerospace engineering. So I was like, what's computer science? And he was just basically like, look, everything needs to be programmed. Your boiler needs to be programmed. He pointed at a thermostat and he's like, that needs to be programmed. As soon as he left my house, I Googled aerospace engineer versus software engineer and saw a software engineer makes way more money. And I was like, yep, done with that, done with aerospace engineering, not doing that. Don't get me wrong, no disrespect to aerospace engineers, but in the UK, I'd say they're severely underpaid compared to maybe somewhere like the US. That's in most jobs anyway. When if we're talking UK and US. But yeah, so after that, I Googled what is the best programming language to learn, and it said Python. So what I did was I banged Python from a YouTube channel called The Clever Programmer. I banged that out for like 4 weeks. 4 weeks later, I had a job in a city as a junior software engineer. So that's how my journey started. I was there for 2 years and I felt like, oh, maybe I got into this fairly young. I want to explore because I got in when I was 20. When looking back, that wasn't even that young, but at the time, it was very, very easy to get into tech. So I was there for 2 years, left, went into oil and gas for a bit, went to go and study law, which I was doing whilst I was working full time, left there, did a brief stint at my old secondary school. If you're in the US, that's high school. And left there, went into construction. I was a traffic marshal for 3 months. Yes, I was. And then after those 3 months, I got a job as an assistant construction manager. And that was a good job. However, I unexpectedly fell pregnant. Obviously, my pregnancy wasn't planned, and I wasn't gonna go ahead with it. I wasn't gonna go ahead with the pregnancy or anything like that. But I fell sick. I have a long-term condition. I have a chronic illness that can't be cured. I've had it since I was 6 years old, and I had a flare-up of my condition early on in my pregnancy, which resulted in me having to keep my child. Which obviously, looking back, things worked out. Wouldn't change it. I say that there are days where I think, oh, I could have done this, I could have done that. But ultimately, I love my daughter and I feel like my life is where it is today because of her. So I wouldn't change that. And then before I even found out I was pregnant, because going into construction, yeah, it's cool and everything, but you have to go in every day. And I was a bit like, ugh, I would just need some days where I could work from home and this is just too much. And I thought I wanted to do IT project management, and I was just like, no, do you know what? I want to go back to having the hardcore skills, but I don't just want to do programming. What else can I do? Should I do data analytics? Should I do cybersecurity? And at the time, I thought cybersecurity was just pen testing. And I was still like, do you know what? Even if pen testing is hard, I'm still going to pursue it. I don't care. So I signed up to a government boot camp that was being provided in the UK in 2022. I think this was between 2020 actually, but I found out about it in 2022 anyway. I just Googled stuff, like I was just Googling. I didn't ask anybody anything because no one was talking about cybersecurity that year. The only people that really had a channel on it was Josh Madical, Day Johnson, and Sandra. I forgot her last name. And yeah, I basically was like, do you know what? I'm going to do the cybersecurity bootcamp. I did two simultaneously, actually. while I was pregnant. And yeah, I just banged that out. And by the end of it, I was 6 months pregnant when it started, and I finished when I was 9 months pregnant. And when it finished, I got a job 2 weeks after it finished in application support, which I was very overqualified for. But when I was interviewing, they didn't know I was 9 months pregnant. So I gave birth to my daughter shortly after that and started working 11 days after giving birth. And application support was like being in a sock, honestly. It was 12 hours per day. So I was working 4 days, I was off 4 days with a newborn baby. Um, you might be thinking, yeah, but if you did the boot camp, why didn't you go into cyber? I wasn't ready to. I was happy to stay there. Like, I was happy to be in application support, and I was there for 8 months. And then when I was ready to apply for a cyber job, I only applied for like 2 weeks and I got a job. I got a job in a SOC. So that's my background. Yeah, I just thought I'd give a little bit about me in terms of careers. Obviously, I didn't talk about like retail, being in retail or hospitality as a teenager, because that's irrelevant. But my first job in corporate was a junior software engineer in the city.